Hari
Wherever we go, whatever we are doing, whether we are active or whether we are inactive, there is that base, there's the pure consciousness, the pure force of life, the pure love, that first expression of what you are, that base with its three aspects. And out of that base, the whole experience of the world, of the universe, of the universe, of the universes, the multiverse, emerges. Whatever helps us to catch our attention when we are completely involved into little details and attached to them, whatever helps us to catch the attention and bring it directly back to that source, to that base, is perfectly valid, no matter what. And generally, we can say it's helpful if we have a reasonably healthy body. Of course, in the jnana path, they say, oh, body doesn't matter, I'm not the body, but then the same people, as soon as they are not well in the body, all their attention has the tendency to be totally absorbed and just struggling and running around and going from one treatment to another and from one doctor to another. And then all the ideas, I'm not the body, are forgotten. So it makes sense that we keep our body reasonably healthy, but we don't have to get obsessed with it. And it makes sense that energetically we learn to balance out our energies, but we don't have to get obsessed about it. All this is helpful. The more these instruments are in tension, the more they have the tendency to disturb us, to prevent us from being aware of that aspect that is there in everybody, that is totally unaffected by anything that is happening. Aware what's going on, in a way eagerly experiencing what's going on, at the same time totally unattached and unconcerned and unaffected. It's always there. Whether we are quietly sitting in meditation or whether we are fully active, whether we are alone or whether we are in a crowd, whether we keep quiet or whether we are talking, it's there like a rock, unmovable. And what matters is that we learn to connect with that consciously. That we learn to bring the attention back to that source where it belongs, where it should be, but somehow being manifested in this world, growing up in this world, we have learned for a long time to do the exact opposite, to be with our attention always in something or other, concerned about something or other, worrying about something or other. Completely overlooking that all the time, this space has been there. Just bring the attention back to that and relax into it. That's all we need to do, that's all we can do. And whatever helps is perfectly valid. And some people do more yogic practices, energetic practices, some people do more devotional practices, some people go more about discrimination, pure jnana, discriminating the real from the unreal by just observing sharper and sharper. Or then we find a combination of the three, and each one finds their own way, what is good for them. And those who are on a certain way, they usually say, oh, the other one, it's no good, because there you get attached to this, and they get attached to this, and you get waylaid there. That possibility is there no matter how we are going about. Each approach, if we are not vigilant, we have the tendency to just change our attitude of the personality, change the coloring of the personality, but keep that personality intact. And we create a new, what some people sometimes call a spiritual ego on our approach. And it's not that one approach is more prone to that than another. It depends entirely on our vigilance, that we have a good, honest look at ourselves, again and again and again. Because the tendency is there, even if we get rid of certain aspects of our ego, of our personality, of our old attachments, that it comes in sneaking in again in a subtler way. And Andrea mentioned that yogis may develop so much power and maybe not be free. That's totally true. We have to be vigilant, but also the devotee has to be vigilant. We can be a devotee and develop devotional behavior, a humble behavior, and be so proud of our humility and show it the whole world how humble we are. It's always possible that mind is establishing itself again new, because somehow we don't want to give up that sense of me, a separate being. Being afraid if I let go of that, then I'm losing something precious. But actually, what we are losing is all that which creates suffering, which creates trouble. So we can use established practices, or we can also sometimes improvise, and people find out their own totally unique way of somehow catching the attention and bringing it back home to that timelessness, here, now. And whatever works is perfectly well. There's not one thing that is better than another. What is natural for one person is not natural for another person. We are always free. Actually, for the self, the word freedom doesn't mean anything, because there is no bondage. The word freedom simply means something when we feel we are in bondage. And then we have to get rid of that bondage and liberate, and get free. But you simply are unaffected, unconcerned. There is a bubbling, beautiful joyousness in it that is not created by circumstances, that is not created by certain things. This is just a natural aspect of it.